Welcome to Offsite Dirt, the podcast committed to news and insight in the offsite construction industry. Join our team of experts covering modern methods of construction, high-performance build, lean manufacturing, prefab, and beyond. Here's the dirt on Offsite Dirt. Hi, my name's Audree Grubesic, and I'm with Offsite Dirt. I'm here at the Unico factory. The Unico product is a high-velocity, small ductwork HVAC system, and I'm here with the Vice President of Engineering. I'm here with Craig Messmer. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here with us and making the time.
My pleasure. It's like
you have a really interesting story about the agency that kind of handles the engineering that has to do with HVAC, refrigeration. Can you give us a little bit of your background?
Well, I've been here at Unico for almost 31 years.
Oh, it's incredible.
So,
yes.
Yeah, it's been a long ride. I've been in the HVAC industry and manufacturing, product design for over 40. Okay, so this is not my first.
How could that be?
Yeah,
That's not possible.
Yeah, I'm not real tall, so people always think I'm younger than I really am.
There you go. There it is.
I don't know why that works like that, but it's true.
It's great. I love it.
Okay, so I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I have undergraduate and a graduate degree in thermal systems, and so I have a good background in thermal fluid sciences, and HVAC definitely falls into that category.
Yes, it does. Category. Absolutely, yes.
So in my early career, I did a lot of industrial, commercial, military projects.
Okay.
And then since Unico, it's been primarily residential. At least that's our product. Okay, but it's used anywhere. It's as Audrey explained, this is a small duct high velocity system that has a specific meaning with the Department of Energy. There is a separate product class for that. It's within the residential central air conditioning and central heat pump category. Okay, but it's a separate product class, and by that I mean it has its own separate
set of rules and regulations.
Well, they're slightly different than the regular air conditioners that you speak of, and it's primarily because of the ductwork that we use. Being much smaller, has different requirements for the equipment to operate effectively. Okay, so yeah.
It's incredible because I've been able to be with the trainers. I also talked with Stuart, who's designing the product for installation, and then I come across you and you were telling me about this new change that's happening with refrigeration and also these types of systems. Can you give us a little bit of overview with that?
You want me to talk about the new changes
I
for the
do.
industry?
I want the new changes for the industry.
Well,
and you're the guy. I know it.
Okay, so, well, I know more than most, but I don't know everything.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so as part of my job here at Unico, I also am a company representative in the AHRI group. That's the industry trade organization for heating, cooling, and refrigeration product manufacturers. I'm on the regulatory committee. It's the Unitary Regulatory Committee. We concern ourselves with federal, state, local regulations as it pertains to both air conditioners, heat pumps, gas furnaces, and things like that. Obviously, I don't know as much about the gas furnaces because we don't make any.
Right.
But I know more than I probably know more than I should.
No.
Okay.
There you go.
But anyway, last year the EPA instituted a new rule to implement a change in refrigerant. Now we knew it was coming for the last I don't know, 5 or 6 years.
You knew it was coming. I never even heard anything about it, but I feel so good that I'm getting educated now.
When I say we, you're right. When I say we, it's myself and the people I associate with.
Yes, your surrounding people.
Okay, so those are my peeps, but people won't let us talk in public very often.
So we've got these new regulations that are happening.
Yeah, so refrigerants that we use, and by the way, almost every fluid is a refrigerant. Air, water, those actually have refrigerant numbers attached to them. Okay, no one would know that, but we do. And so the most common refrigerant used today in air conditioning heating for residential is a refrigerant R-410A. You may have heard of it. Okay. So that's what's been used for the last 10, 15 years. Prior to that was R-22. And there's for whatever environmental reason there was then, we made the switch.
Okay.
Well, there's another environmental reason to switch again. Okay. It's for global climate change. We're trying to save the world. That's always a good thing.
I'm always there for saving the world. It's always a good thing.
Okay. We all do it in small increments, I suppose. And this is kind of a large one, though, really.
Yes.
So there's such a thing as called the global warming potential, if you're not familiar with it. It gives you a multiplier effect. So if you have a global warming potential of, say, 2,000, that means it's 2,000 times worse than a single carbon atom.
All right.
Carbon dioxide. Okay. Well, refrigerant R410A has about 20, I don't know the exact number, but it's about 2,200. Okay, so that's a pretty large number.
Okay.
The EPA wants it to be below 750.
Wow, just such a big jump.
It's a big jump. They actually want it to be a lot smaller than that.
Wow.
But the choices of refrigerants are pretty, start getting few and far between.
Right. Or do they exist?
Well, they exist. I mean, you can CO2.
Okay. Okay.
That's a one.
All right. And there you go. And how are you going to get there?
Well, some
companies are trying to figure that out.
Supermarkets already use CO2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can't use them in comfort refrigeration, but you can use it for refrigeration.
Okay, did not know that.
Okay, so yeah, that's there's lots of things in other industries related that
don't apply here, right?
Yeah, they don't really apply here. I know about them as an engineer. Anyway, 410A, 2,200. We got to drop it down to 750. There are really two candidate refrigerants that our industry is moving towards.
Okay.
One is an R32 that's been around for about 10 years, been used overseas quite a bit. That has almost exactly 750 as the number.
Wow,
that's kind of
very
why
unique,
they chose.
isn't it?
That's kind of why they chose it. I'm pretty sure. Okay,
just so happens.
Yeah, it's not been used here in the U.S.
Okay.
And they want it to be lower, so there is one that's lower. It's about 450, and that's an R454B.
Okay.
Don't ask me what the numbers mean.
That's
you
have
to look it up in a book.
You're identifying it. I'm liking it. Giving us the scientific
I can never remember myself.
Information and engineering information.
And it turns out that the 454B is probably going to be the more prevalent one here in the U.S.
Okay, and it's already made in the U.S.?
I don't know exactly where it's made. Probably is.
Okay.
It's Honey. Who makes it? I don't know.
Somebody's making it.
Yeah,
so we're there. We're getting close. Yeah. All right,
Honeywell,
so now we've got to change our whole system by what date?
Well, this is the thing. Last fall,
yes,
the EPA put the dates out there when we have to change.
Okay.
And the requirement is that we have to change by January 1st, 2025. Okay.
That's coming up.
And they did that in the fall, so they gave us essentially 16 months.
Okay.
And this is the whole entire industry, not just Unico. We're a small company, so
you're just following the regulation.
And we don't make the outdoor unit, which is the one piece of equipment that determines what the refrigerant is going to be.
All right.
We accommodate to that refrigerant whatever the outdoor unit is.
Okay.
And so we are officially classified as an indoor coil manufacturer. Okay, into the Department of Energy. Okay, so we have to pay attention to the regulations, and that's where we fit in. So 454B is the refrigerant of choice for most of the outdoor manufacturers.
Okay.
There's only one that I know of that is going to be using 32, but there will be others that follow. And probably not too many because, as you can tell, the 454B is a lower number, so it's going to be more widely accepted by the environmentalists.
So how does this impact Unico?
Well, we have to make sure our product's designed for this refrigerant. The refrigerant's different. There's classifications for all fluids and refrigerants. 410A, it was classified as A1, which is non-toxic, non-flammable, all that. Okay. This one is an A2L. Now, the L has specific meaning. It's low, so it's a low flammability product. It is very hard to ignite. So when they say low flammability, it's true. It's a pretty safe refrigerant, but it can burn.
Okay.
So there's some concern there. So the new products have to have refrigerant sensors, depending on if they have enough, how much refrigerant they have, they hold.
Okay.
Well, for most residential products, they're going to need to have the sensor in it. And it's also related to the size of the space that it's in.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of calculations that are going with it.
Well, if you do the math,
and that's why he's the engineer.
if you do the math, you're going to find that you have to have the sensor for houses.
Okay.
Okay. There's some specialty applications where you can get away with not having them, but because when we sell the product, we don't know where they're going.
Yes.
So we have to take the safe road and add the sensor.
Okay. Yep.
These are all new sensors. The sensor technology has been around for a long time, but specifically for this refrigerant, for this industry, those sensors didn't exist last year. They've been under development by a number of companies. They're not in full production yet with any of them. So it's not just us that's being impacted here.
Yeah, that's
We're
a
talking
lot.
millions, absolutely millions of sensors that have to get produced
In a
by
very
the end
small
of
amount
this
time.
year.
Yeah.
Okay, actually
Wow.
before the end of this year,
Right.
because we have to get ahead of the train.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
we need inventory, and so our, like everybody else, we're planning on a fourth Q4 production of the new refrigerant units. Okay, so we can have something to ship to our customers before the end of the year, so they can get ready for 2025. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Craig. You know, I think it's super important to see how Unico is really looking at all the regulations, being involved in that, knowing that there's going to be compliance and building code and all these things that we have to think about for the consumer and the end user. So it's nice to see that you're on top of it. You're a part of that, you know, group, and you're understanding what those things are going to be, because this is a big change.
It's huge.
Yes, it's a big impact.
And because it's a complete changeover for the heat exchangers, that means we have to be careful not to have a lot of inventory that gets stranded. And it's not just our inventory; it's our customers' inventory.
Right.
And they probably have more than we do. Okay. So
there's going to be a lot of solutions happening, hopefully, for all of us.
There are, and hopefully there won't be a lot of unhappy people. But I think that's going to work itself out. It's the transition period that's always the problem, and we really are trying to navigate that as carefully as we can. It's been a challenge to tell our customers exactly what's going on, because
nobody can really understand that, right? I mean,
well, we don't know.
Yes,
and
there's so many variables that are not known, and that's the hard part of this whole equation.
When you're going to get the sensors, when you're going to have all your UL qualifications, when you get all your testing done, and you know, and we have to have outdoor units to do this.
Yes,
and those units are not available.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they also have an R&D lab here, so they're testing those and getting the data and doing that analysis as well. So now you're in the know. This is why we do this program. This is why we do Offsite Dirt, because these are the valuable things that are happening in our industry that you need to know about, especially if you're a builder or a contractor, or you're a person that's going to be using this type of product or any product for heating and cooling your home, right?
Yeah. Everybody wants to know how they're affected by this. Okay. And our customers are asking those questions to us and to other people as well. So the important thing to remember to know for next year, 2025, is that you can still put in the 410A units for 1 year, so long as those units were produced in 2024.
Wow.
Okay.
There's
So
always something.
so it's a big guesswork is how much inventory we need to have, or our customers want to have in their warehouse to accommodate that transitional period next year. Next year, in 2025, we can still make the 410A coils, but those can only be used for repair, for service. So if you need to replace an existing indoor unit, you can still do that, and there's no expiration on that. That can go on. So anything you have in your home.
So don't be in panic. Don't go in panic mode, right?
So whatever you have in your house can be serviced now, at the moment, forever. Okay. So so you don't have to rip out your system starting next year.
Right. You don't have to rip out your hair either, because that's probably what happens next.
You only if you're going to replace the whole system.
Okay.
That's the outdoor unit and the indoor unit.
Good to know.
Does it have to be either the old refrigerant that was made in 2024 or the new refrigerant?
Okay. All right. Well, now you know. Now you're in the know about refrigerant and what is happening with the EPA and these new codes, building codes, new laws that are going to be coming into effect. And we all got it from Craig over here at Unico. Thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate it. You are so knowledgeable, and hopefully that information will help you feel a little bit more at ease. And I'm sure that there's places that they can look up information on it, right?
Well, if you really want to go to the Federal Register, you can read a whole lot about it.
Hey, there
Our government put out publications. They're not easy to read, though.
That's why we got Craig.
Yeah, so just ask me. I'll let you know.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for being here. This is Offsite Dirt. A little bit more information about HVAC systems. Make sure you're in the know on the dirt. And that is the dirt on Offsite Dirt. Thanks for being here.